So, Spider-Man No Way Home is in theaters. Is it worth the hype? Is it the best Spider-Man movie ever made? Honestly, I didn't expect much from the movie initially, and I have a good reason for that. You see, later this year, Marvel has been releasing their Phase 4 movies. We've got Black Widow, which could have been a Phase 3 movies, and Black Widow really deserved a better standalone movie than this. Next, we got Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. It has some awesome fight choreography, but the storyline is predictable. Then came the Internals. It can be better extended into Disney+. Because of those reasons, when the first trailer for No Way Home was released, I wasn't very excited about the movie. To me, Tom Holland's Spider-Man movie don't feel like Spider-Man movies. It's just being there for the other MCU movies. It was overshadowed by another Avenger in its own movies. So, I thought No Way Home was gonna be the same formula. But this time, it was different. So let's talk about Spider-Man No Way Home. I'm going to divide into two parts, non-spoiler and spoiler. So for non-spoiler, it's pretty hard on these days to talk about superhero movies without spoiling it. I promise there's still a lot in the movie, even though you couldn't dodge all these spoilers. You see, these spoilers can show you who and what are in the movie, but they can't show you why and how these things are happening in the movie. I think that's the best part of the Spider-Man No Way Home. Spider-Man No Way Home is directed by Jon Watts, and it is the third of the Home trilogy. No Way Home is a direct sequel to Far From Home. Spider-Man's secret identity, Peter Parker, is revealed and he tries to fix that. But he has to make the choices and he has to face the consequences. I tell you that this is my most favorite of the Home trilogy. I rewatched both the Homecoming and Far From Home before watching this, and I still enjoy those two movies. But this movie, No Way Home, it really stands out with the stunning visuals and outstanding performances. Tom Holland and Zendaya acting are great in this movie. The movie runtime is 2 hours and 28 minutes, which is the longest of the Home trilogy, and I didn't have a single dull moment. I'm definitely going to watch it again and again. I think the fans are gonna love it too. I mean, if you're already loving the Homecoming and Far From Home, you're gonna love it for sure, period. From now on, I'm gonna tell you about the spoilers. So I recommend you to watch the movie first. Fasten your seatbelt now because we are going into the spoilerverse. So everyone knows Spider-Man is Peter Parker, and everyone loses their mind. As we know, Mysterio is believed as a hero, and Spider-Man is framed as a murderer. It also has an impact on his loved ones. This has become his responsibility. You see, Spider-Man's journey was only to become an Avenger. It wasn't about Peter Parker and his journey to become Spider-Man. So in No Way Home, Peter feels responsible for his mess and he asks Doctor Strange for help. Although Doctor Strange can't help Peter with the time, there's a spell he can cast that will make everyone forget Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
Wait, everyone?
But Peter just wanted a quick solution and he didn't really think this through. He keeps interrupting Doctor Strange with a spell, and Doctor Strange managed to conceal the spell, but this failure leads to some kind of openings for other realities. As a side effect, the ones who know Peter Parker as Spider-Man from other realities start appearing in their world.
Hello, Peter.
First, we got to see the two classic main villains from the Sam Raimi's Spider-Man movie, Alfred Molina and William Dafoe, both written as Doc Ock and Green Goblin. It's really good to see them back again. The aging technology used on them is remarkable. Their performances are still fantastic and they are having fun with it. It really feels like they came out of their movie from 20 years ago. Then Sandman from Spider-Man 3, Electro and Lizard from the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 also came along. Thomas Hayden Church returns as Sandman, but he is mostly CGI into the movie. His character is kinda like being there to tell Norman and Doc Ock that they died fighting Spider-Man in their universe. Also, he has great conversation with Electro that they both fell into their places where they are transformed. Speaking of Electro, Jamie Foxx returns for the role, but he looks different now. Rice Ifan as Lizard is just being there to confirm Electro appearance changes.
No, he can't.
Is it because he's not the same Electro from the Amazing Spider-Man universe? That would make more sense because the Electro we knew didn't know Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Well, he did here when Gwen called Spider-Man Peter. It wasn't specifically Peter Parker, right? What do you guys think about Electro? Please leave a comment down below. So moving on, Norman meets with Aunt May, which is the nice little callback to Raimi's Spider-Man. He's probably shocked by the younger Aunt May.
You know I love you.
What actually shocked him was that Oscorp doesn't exist in this universe. Nope. So Peter gets this idea from meeting with Norman and Aunt May that he should help these people come into his reality. This is also his mess and Peter is actually taking great responsibility. I like that. Doctor Strange has this magic box and the plan was to use this box to send the villain back to their universe. So that causes the conflict and fight between Doctor Strange and Peter. Peter outsmarts Doctor Strange and Doctor Strange is trapped in the mirror dimension until near the end of the movie. This kind of makes the movie works because Doctor Strange could easily beat all those Spider-Man villains. But what I like about the movie is it's not about defeating the villains, it's about curing them. Without Doctor Strange, Peter can help the villains with their problems. And it's getting pretty so far, but Norman is taken over by the Goblin and things go south again. This time, Peter really has to pay the big price. This is a very emotional moment. You see, we didn't get to see Tom Holland's Spider-Man origin. We didn't get to see him beaten by the spider or lose Uncle Ben like in the Spider-Man movie before. Here in this movie, Marisa Tomei, Aunt May, is the new Uncle Ben, if you want to put it like that. She knew the famous line, with great power comes great responsibility. She knew that moment when Tom Holland, Peter Parker, starts to learn what it really takes to be Spider-Man.
Yes, very sad. Anyway.
They got Andrew Garfield Spider-Man and Tobey Maguire Spider-Man into this movie and it is freaking fantastic! It's not like Tobey Maguire just got paid to be in this movie for the last fight. No, both him and Andrew Garfield actually supports Tom Holland's Spider-Man. They have a great moment together. I really like the chemistry between them. Great callbacks and jokes too. Tobey Peter Parker comes as a mature senior Spider-Man for both Andrew and Tom. I think Andrew Garfield is really good in this movie. He has great dialogues and he has epic redemption at the end of the movie. You see, Andrew was a great Spider-Man even though his Spider-Man franchise wasn't really good. He had the most tragic ending of the Spider-Man franchise. He didn't get a proper closure after Gwen died. Now, he gets to save MJ and it's such a tearing up moment. A great wrapping up for this character. I love it. I also love how they handle these Spider-Man characters. They didn't overshadow Tom Holland's Spider-Man. It is still Tom Holland's Spider-Man movie. Tom Holland takes the lead when it comes to the team fight for the final battle. That makes sense because Tom Holland's Spider-Man is the only Spider-Man who gets to fight along with the team, the Avengers. Speaking of redemption and wrapping up, this movie feels like wrapping up all the live-action Spider-Man movies. The villains also get redemption at the end, especially Doc Ock. Both Tobey and Andrew get the ending they deserve. As for Tom Holland, I think he is now the strongest character build-up in the MCU. From Homecoming to Far From Home, it's his journey to become an Avenger. But No Way Home is his true journey to become Spider-Man. He's technically stripped down to the basic. It's like a soft reboot if they are going to make more MCU Spider-Man in the future. I mean, why not? We even got Charlie Cox, the Netflix Daredevil in MCU. We got J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson. That's crazy. After all, Spider-Man No Way Home is a true fan service movie. It's like giving people what they want to see. I hope they make more movies like this in the future. They also generate a lot of money at the global box office. Spider-Man No Way Home reached $1 billion at the global box office over the Christmas weekend. The co-production between Sony and Disney is the first film to surpass this benchmark during the pandemic and has also claimed the title of highest grossing movie of 2021. The last release to exceed $1 billion was 2019 Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. So, in my opinion, Spider-Man No Way Home is not a perfect movie. I mean, it is not like the best Spider-Man movie ever made, but it is a Spider-Man movie we deserve. So at the end of the movie, everyone forgets Peter Parker is Spider-Man. How does the spell work? Does it erase all the data and evidence? If that's so, Doctor Strange's spell is so powerful, he could have easily deleted Ultron or erased the memory of Thanos, right? Also, Tom Hardy Venom is only there for a mid-credit scene. He was sent back before he even met with Spider-Man, but he left a piece of Venom. So, is he in the MCU now? But he also supposed to forget about Peter, right? There are still many unanswered questions. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. It is completely free and you can always unsubscribe later.